Hey guys, see Australia here. So today I'm going to be discussing what should I get for my first motorcycle. Now I've only been riding for about 4 or 5 months, so I mean don't start flaming me on my advice, but this is just what I think. In my opinion, I don't really think you should spend a hell of a lot on your first bike, because you're only going to have it for about a year or so. So I don't think spending 5, 6 grand, 7 grand on a new Ninja is really worth it, because like I said, you're only going to have it for a year or two. Just keep the money for a bigger bike, and then in another year, when it comes and you have to buy a CBR 600 for 10 grand, you'll have that spare cash laying around. Now, a 250 is a 250. At the end of the day, no one's going to be like, whoa, nice. It's a 250, come on. It's a small, piddly little thing. You might think it's cool for a bit, but as soon as you sit it next to an R1 or something like that, you're going to be like, ah. So at the end of the day, it's a 250. It doesn't matter what bike you get an old piggy. You're just gonna ride it for 1 year. You know, it's worth the money you save is worth the embarrassment. I picked this GPX up for 900 bucks, or about $1,000. At the end of the day, I bought this for 400, but it wasn't working. Yeah, if you go to Brennan V 101, you can see me sort of fixing it up a bit. That's my other channel. That's for all my sort of like engine rebuilds and all the projects I do. But yeah, if you're handy with a spanner, it really saves you a lot of dough. My brother got a ZZR for 900, spent about 100 bucks on it, and good as gold. It's not cosmetically or aesthetically, it's not very pleasing. It's not very nice on the eye, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's a 250. You got it for $1,000. That's wicked. It's a bike. So just get a crappy old one for under $1,000, or set your limit for 2.5 grand, and you're on your way. I go first, mummy. So that's what I think. Just spend as little as possible. Get one that's running, of course. Get one that's in good working order. But like I said, if you're handy with a spanner, it definitely helps. If you get one that's not running, and it might just turn out to be locked up carbs, or needs new spark plugs, or little tiny things. Mine, I got it because the guy, he bought it as a project, but he didn't have enough time, and it just had a little tick, which turned out to be the cam chain was a bit loose, and all it needed was a little turn of the spanner and tension the chain a little bit more, and good as gold. That's all I needed, a little turn of the spanner. So if the guy spent about 10 minutes reading a manual, he could have got another $1,000 for the bike. But people don't know these things. They think, oh fuck, the engine's stuffed, I have to get a new engine, might as well just sell it. But you don't. And people don't know that. you know, engine troubles. That is the major selling point. You know, you want a bike that works, and if it doesn't work, it really takes the value down. So if you get a non-runner, save yourself a couple of bucks, turn a few spanners, open up a manual, and at the end of the day, if you get it really cheap, it's not really a loss. You can always resell it for the same money. But a good bike to get, really any 250 will be good. Don't, you know, I mean, it just depends what you want. If you want a cruiser or a sports bike or an old cafe racer, just get a nice light little thing. I wouldn't get a 125, 250. You get a 250. 125s are a bit small. They go a bit slow, and don't get a Hyosung. I mean, Hyosung's, the 2010 Hyosungs are good. They got fuel injection, and yeah, they're pretty decent now. But I wouldn't get an 05 one or an 06 Hyosung. They were pretty crappy back then. They've come a long way, but I still wouldn't buy one. I'd still get an old VTR 250 or a GPX or ZZR 250 or a CBR over a Hyosung. I just trust the Kawasaki or Honda name brand. It just has that, you know, GPX, they've been making them for 20 odd years. They have their name, you know. You buy the name brand, really. Like when you're buying a, I don't know, you buy a Sony laptop or something, you just like the brand. If you get an odd name Chinese one, parts are hard to track down, but also they're just part support. That's like Kawasaki. You can go to the Kawasaki dealer. Hyosung's the same thing, but if you get one of those crappy Chinese bikes, very hard to get a service done on it. Or, you know, you need a new cylinder head. You can't just go down the Wreckers and get one. Like with the GPX, the Wreckers has like 1 million GPX parts. They're bugger all. That's another good thing. If you get a GPX or a ZZR or something, the Wreckers have, or even, you know, some motorcycle guys, they'll have one laying out the back in parts that you can buy some bits off. Parts are cheap. If you low slide or high side or whatever, low side a GPX, you could probably fix it up for under 500 bucks. A Hyosung, God, you're looking at 2 grand, because they have to buy all the parts new. You can't just buy an old fairing off some guy that has it laying in his shed, or a couple of mirrors from the Wreckers. You can't get that. So my advice is get a Kawasaki or a Honda or a Suzuki, or, you know, some sort of name brand. I wouldn't really get a bike pre-1990. I wouldn't get a 1988 or whatever bike, because they're just a bit too old and they got too much shit going wrong with them. Get a 92, or this is a 1990 but it's in good nick. Oh, yeah, fix that road up. Bloody hell. There's a root under the road. Big bloody root. There's another one. Jesus. Wouldn't want to hit that over 70 k's. That'd make you change your pants. If you get a project bike, it's actually really good as well, because you learn your bike inside out. Like mine, now I can take all the fairings off. You know, I can take the whole bike apart. I can take the tank off in seconds. It's easy as. I can rip the whole bike apart within like an hour. Don't need a manual. I know it off by heart. army cot.